What's up, everybody? This is your boy DC Black coming to you yet again with another video, and we are back at it with another review. I know I haven't done one in a while. There was some stuff I had thought about reviewing, but I kind of changed my mind on it for one reason or another. But I'm back, and there's no other. And movie theaters are kind of open, I guess, sort of. Uh, And the movie I am going to review is none other than New Mutants. This is probably going to be pretty short because there's not really nothing to say about this movie because there's no substance to this movie. But let's kind of go back, right? Let's go back a year, 2 years, 4 years. That was when this movie was actually first announced, where we got word that New Mutants we're gonna have New Mutants and blah 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 blah. This movie they reshot this movie four times. When Fox had it, Fox was advertising this as like an X-Men horror film. Disney got their hands on it, and it seems like Disney was like absolutely freaking not. They're not. No, there's like no. We're no. You're not doing this. Um, Even though if you look at some of the studios that they own, you'll see that they actually do own a lot of studios that do produce horror films. But this was not that. But we're gonna just kind of put a pause there for a second, because we're gonna kind of talk about what this movie was basically about. This movie basically was about overcoming your fears. So the character Danielle Moonstar, she shows up to this facility. Some stuff happens. She shows up to the facility, and she doesn't know how she got there. She thinks her father is dead and everything else. And then she's met there with other mutants as well. So she's there with Wolfsbane. I believe Sunspot is there. I believe that's Sunspot. Let me check real quick. I want to make sure that is Sunspot. Uh, 'Cause I believe that is Sunspot. That character is, yeah, he's Sunspot. That's what I thought. So you have, just to make sure. So we have Wolfsbane there, played by Macy Williams. You have Sunspot there. You have Magic. You have Cannonball, and you have Mirage or Moonstar. She's been known by multiple names. But weird, freaky stuff started happening when she showed up. And I'm not going to spoil. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. But through the machinations of it, you find out there's some things happening there, and stuff happens. And so this story, without spoiling anything, this story really don't have a lot to it. There's no substance really to this movie, because this movie, the entire premise is you overcoming your fears. And what does that look like? You overcoming your fears, you triumphing over them. This movie was so freaking boring. It was so boring. Like, this movie was only an hour, 18 minutes, but I felt like I was sitting there for 2 hours. I was sitting there with my wife. We were watching the movie. She was like, she doesn't like horror films. I stopped watching horror films, but this really didn't come off as a horror film to me. Though you had the jump scares, though you had like some of the creepy stuff that might, show up, some of the creepy stuff. It just there this even though you had some of those things, you can have some of those things in like a thriller or a sci-fi thriller where there are jump scares and there are like weird, creepy things that is not there. But all of it basically, it didn't give me the feel of a horror movie at all. So I was just like, I figured out what was actually happening. I figured it out in the beginning, like literally at the beginning. The moment Danielle Moonstar got there, I instantly knew what was happening, and I was like, okay, I know what's happening, and I didn't look up any spoilers or anything like that. I wanted to go into a cold because this is the last X-Men movie that was made by Fox. So I wanted to go in there with no expectations. This movie got pushed back like 4 times. I actually expected it to just go straight to streaming, but surprise, surprise, it didn't happen. But I didn't. I just tried to have every preconceived notion, just taking that out of my mind and just putting it in a box and just leaving it there. But I found myself kind of going back to that box because I'm like, this crap is boring. Like, and then my wife asked me, is there gonna be like a save the world moment? I'm like, I think so. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. It did. And like she was kind of, she didn't want to necessarily see it. I didn't want to see it just because I'm bored. Like even the action set pieces that were there, they happened it was so slow. I was like, man, let's just get to the point and get to the ending so we can move on. I do not want to see this. It was frustrating because it was like you could have done something with this movie with and like they use mutants that have not been used before. That's the crazy part. You use mutants that wasn't used before, but you just don't do anything with it. And then the crazy thing is they have something in the movie that kind of lets you know if you an X-Men fan, you gonna recognize it instantly. You're gonna be like, oh shoot, like for real? That's crazy. But no, it will never pay off. And that's what this movie is. Things happen, but they don't pay off. I'm gonna be honest with you. My favorite character of the movie was Anna Taylor, Magic character. Like she played Magic really well. And if they bring Magic into the MCU, I would probably grab her again because she captures the essence of what magic is. Even in the comic books, magic is a butthole, and she's like that. But the way they did her powers were really cool. That was something that I liked about it. I liked the way they showed because she has a sword called the Soul Sword. And her mutant powers are magic based, so she can open up portals to this place called Limbo. It's more like a very weird hellscape, sort of. But she has magic powers, and the Soul Sword can like really cut through. I don't think it can cut through anything, but I think there are certain limits. But it's a magic sword. Needless to say, it's a magic sword. And the way they showed her armor and when she carries the sword, I think that was really cool. Oh, I almost forgot about this. They also show, and if you like, you won't understand this if you are not an X-Men character, X-Men fan, but they show Lockheed. And Lockheed is a dragon, and the dragon actually looked really freaking cool. Um, but outside of that, there's really nothing in this movie. There's no substance. I'd rather watch. Whew, I don't know. Whew, man, I don't know. This is gonna be hard. This is hard to say, but I can't believe I'm going to say it. I'd rather watch X-Men Last Stand and Dark Phoenix than watch this movie. Well, actually, no, not Dark Phoenix. No, 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 no. I'll watch X-Men Last Stand and X-Men Apocalypse before I watch this movie. And both of those are bad. Like really bad. Even X-Men Apocalypse is boring. But this is a different kind of boring. Like I was sitting there scrolling through my phone. It was just bad. Like I don't it was just one of those things I was just like I didn't care about this movie at all. Because maybe it's because maybe it was because I knew that the characters weren't going to be seen, but yeah, I didn't care about this movie. This movie is boring. I would honestly say, don't waste the money going to see this necessarily. Don't try to, catch it on streaming when it streams. Catch it. If somebody paying for you, going out on a date and somebody paying for you, go see it. Go see it. Um, yeah, like don't waste your time on this movie. Even if gotta know the dude in the hood that will give you the DVD for the low, the bootleg for the low. Not saying bootlegging movies is good, but do it because this movie is just bad. It's to the and then I understand the people that were involved wanting to defend this movie, but no, this movie there's no defense for this movie. This movie is just bad. I'm not. I done gave this movie already. It's 10 minutes. I'm already 10 minutes in, and I've given this movie way too much time talking about it. So I'm gonna jump right into my rating. If I was to rate this movie, I would give this movie a flat F. Like no, just no. An F letter grade. If I was to give it a star rating, it would be 0 out of 5 stars. Like I'm not watching this movie again. Like I will never watch New Mutants again because it's just that bad. So I'm gonna also be doing some more videos coming up soon. I'm going to be catching up on some DC fandom stuff that has happened and do some more trailer reactions. I did a trailer reaction for the Batman. Catch catch that on the channel pretty soon. Also, hopefully myself, Yume, and Crash will be streaming Avengers. Hopefully. So or if some combination of us is gonna be doing stream or gonna be streaming it, or I will just be streaming it. But that being said, if you guys like what you've seen here, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what your first time in a while, your first time your first time. Look, words. Well, tell me how was your first time back at the movies? What your experience was like? Because I went to the drive-in and my experience was cool. I really like the drive-in. I like the intimacy of the drive-in. I like the close quarters of the how you're secluded in your car and things like that. But yeah, so with that being said, I will see you when I see you.